Hello, stock traders. I hope all of you had a fantastic week. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the overall week and the path of where the least resistance might be for where the market is going next. And it has just been in this consolidating pattern that's been happening for months on end. We are looking for a breakout, and it looks like the bulls are trying to come in, but there's definitely some things to be worried about. So you will want to stay to the end of the video to take a look at that. I don't have any insider buy transactions to really report. There really wasn't any of merit, which is not a good sign for the market. I'm going to kind of go into that also and talk about some of the big sales and big buys this week. Anyway, let's get to it. But before we get going, if you could do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when a new video comes out. So let's start this video off. I'm going to do my weekly report card, and here we go. These are the callouts that I made in my Discord group this last week. There wasn't as many of them with CPI data. I was definitely a lot more cautious in some of the callouts that I made. There's some callouts that are open through the weekend that are swing plays, and every single one of those is up. But these are the ones that we closed positioned on this last week. The first is ESTE, sold for a 4.68% loss. ANNX for a 2.22% loss. SHAK for a 5.45% gain, CNXC for a 3.05% gain, and KOLD for a 5.58% gain. That was 3 out of 5. 60% win rate, average gain per pick of 1.44%. A below average week, definitely for the callouts, but looking forward to this next week. We're starting to see some different stuff. And if you want these callouts as they happen in real time, you'll want to be a member of the Patreon group. I have a link in the description down below. It is a great place. A lot of great traders who are trying to help one another to be successful, and all the different stocks and things that I'm looking at through the week in that basic level. And up higher, we have some professional traders in there. If you are a day trader or you are someone who trades professionally, you may take a look at that standard or premium room. All right, well, let's get going. Let's go to the S&P 500 chart, kind of talk about where we're at. Boy, lots of gaps here, lots of different stuff. So each one of these yellow lines that you see here is a gap that is open, a gap to the upside or downside. There's a small gap right here looking at the market right at 386. So we are closing really close to resistance. And so that's typically not good. Typically when you close at resistance, you don't power through, you see a pullback from that level. Now there's these open gaps now down below. Now there's a new open gap here on this gap that was formed up here, starting at right around the 382 mark, all the way down to 379. And so that's something that's right there that just opened up. We could see it come back down, fill that gap right here, or even come on down. This gap is still open that's down here looking at 369 and 367. And then I think the market eventually, if we can't break above this 48 EMA, I think the market is coming down to fill this gap that is from forever ago all the way down at 354. So that's something to kind of watch for. These are some different levels to kind of watch. We've been in this pattern, this sideways pattern, ever since this big drop here. We've just been up and down, up and down, up and down, really going nowhere in the market quick. And at some point, we are going to break through this range, and it's going to be a powerful move when it happens. So you will want to watch for that. The levels of resistance right here at this red 48 EMA at 393. We get above that, and we will really start to see a breakdown. But if we get up to that level and we get rejected, watch for a waterfall of selling that happened before, because that's what happened here. We got stuck at that 48, couldn't get past it, and then what happened? Bam. There were some other outside factors that affected that, but that's something to watch for, something to be aware of in the overall market, and some different things. Now, there's ways to make money if the market is going down. I like some different bearish ETF funds, and I'm going to kind of talk about some of those. The first is TZA. I like this. This tracks the Russell 2000, and when the Russell 2000 is going down, this is going up 3 times as fast. The next is SPXS, and that as the SPY ETF is going down, then as the SPX is going down, then this is going up 3 times as fast. SQQQ, when the QQQ, the Invesco QQQ is going down, this is going up 3 times as fast. And SDOW is another one if you think the Dow is going to go down in price. So I utilize these as a hedge. And so what I'll do is I have some of these open right now, for example, and I have TZA, SPXS, and SQQQ because the market could have a big move down. And if so, when that happens, I make money. When that happens this last week, even though the market went down a little bit, I made money on that because I am in those funds. And then on the other side of it, on the bullish side of it, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm kind of hedging my bets. And on the other side of it, I'm doing insiders for big moves upwards. And I've had a lot of success with that. And this week really beat the S&P 500 with that. And my ultimate price target where I think the bottom could be is this 354 level. Of course, no one knows. I'm not a financial advisor. Of course, you need to do your own due diligence. All right, as promised, let's start talking about some of these insider transactions. This is the insider sales of the last week. And there's some really big ones. This up here, Dunn and Bradstreet up here. The director sold 108 million. So wow. So there's some big sales that happened this last week. Hershey Company. There's probably something bad going on in the Hershey Company. Why? Because we have all kinds of different trusts, chairman, senior vice president, director. 10% owners are selling like crazy. This is multiple officers selling in open market transactions. That is not bullish. That is very bearish. And so this stock could be heading for lower prices. And something could be brewing here. Eli Lilly, that's a big sale here by the Lilly Endowment. And then also Noble Corp. Here's another one. 10% owner selling isn't such a big deal. Moderna here, this is more of a big deal. Chief executive officer selling, directors selling, so on and so forth. So there's lots of selling going on, something to kind of pay attention to and be aware of in the market. As far as insider buys of the week, let's take a look at that. Oxy Petroleum. Warren Buffett continues to be buying this in huge amounts. He's expecting the price of oil and gas to go up, and that is the reason behind that. We have a 10% owner here buying a huge amount. Well, this just seems more like financing for the company. Who knows what it is? Verica Pharmaceuticals, this one really moved this last week on insider activity. Even though everyone was at 210, this one really surged the last couple of weeks. So this was a very good transaction. Some different things going on. I did not get in this because we're seeing multiple officers buying at the same amount. That's an offering. And so knowing that they're buying up the offering for me, I find those transactions to be too complicated. And so I stayed away from that one. Probably shouldn't have. And it did very well this last week. So anyway, it's always good to look at the insider activity, see what's the big fish are doing within a company. And I like to watch insiders for clues on different stocks that are about to take off. And that is how I have had my success in the stock market. I've had many years over 100% gains, and I average over 100% gains in the average year. So far this year, it has not worked out for me. I am down around 11% this year. That's much better than the indices, but not my normal year so far. Looking forward to this bear market being over. I do not do as well in a bear market as I do when the bulls are running. That is for sure. Well, I wish you all the best on the stock market. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you. And Raythoven out.